Today on X, March 18, 2026. 4 stories. The war expands, Russia enters the frame, a building falls in Beirut, and oil crosses $100 a barrel. The Wall Street Journal dropped a bombshell today. Russia is expanding intelligence sharing and military cooperation with Iran during the ongoing U.S.-Israel operation. The report claims Moscow is providing satellite imagery showing the positions of U.S. forces in the Middle East, alongside upgraded Shahed drone technology refined during the war in Ukraine.
Russia expands intelligence sharing and military cooperation with Iran during the U.S.-Israel operation, providing satellite imagery and upgraded Shahed drone modifications developed during the war in Ukraine, WSJ writes. The support includes guidance on drone wave size and flight altitude, helping Iran strike U.S.-linked targets across Jordan, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Oman.
The implications are enormous. Russia is essentially sharing its battlefield playbook from Ukraine with Iran, helping them target American forces more effectively.
Russia has increased its military support for Iran amid the war in the Middle East, according to The Wall Street Journal. This includes the transfer of satellite imagery, intelligence, and components for upgraded Shahed systems to improve navigation and guidance. Russia is advising Iran on drone tactics, drawing on its experience from the war against Ukraine, specifically on the scale of drone use in attacks and the altitudes at which they are deployed. Analysts note that Iran's strikes have already begun to resemble Russian tactics.
Russia has allegedly provided Iran with satellite imagery detailing the positions of U.S. forces in the Middle East, alongside drone tactics refined from the war in Ukraine. Multiple intelligence sources suggest the support may be improving the accuracy of Iranian strikes, though officials say the claims have not been fully verified. Modern warfare, where nobody declares war but everyone shares the playbook.
U.S. officials, for their part, said the assistance has not yet undermined American force effectiveness. But the fact that Russia is actively helping Iran target U.S. troops is a significant escalation in what was already a multi-front conflict.
Russia expands support for Iran in the Middle East war. Moscow is providing satellite imagery and upgraded drone technology to Tehran, helping Iran target U.S. forces in the region. The cooperation includes intelligence sharing, enhanced drone systems, and tactical guidance drawn from Russian combat experience. Analysts say this support could help prolong the conflict and give Russia military and economic leverage amid rising tensions.
This morning, a 15-story building in Beirut's Bashoura neighborhood in the heart of central Beirut was leveled by an Israeli airstrike. The IDF issued an evacuation warning before the strike, claiming they were targeting Hezbollah-linked infrastructure. The dramatic collapse was captured on video.
Footage shows the moment a 15-story building in Beirut's al-Bashoura residential quarter is brought down in the capital's central neighborhood, Lebanon, in the morning of Wednesday, March 18, 2026, following an Israeli strike.
Deconstructing Hezbollah. This morning, another 15-story building was leveled in the city of Beirut, not in Dahia, in the Bashoura neighborhood, this after an evacuation warning from the IDF.
The strike hit less than 1 kilometer from Lebanese government headquarters. This is central Beirut, not the southern suburbs where strikes are more common. Lebanese media reported the building housed civilians, including displaced families.
Shocking. Large Beirut building full of residents leveled by Israeli strike today. IDF warned civilians to evacuate first, citing Hezbollah target. Dramatic collapse captured on video. This amid rising Israel-Hezbollah fighting. Thoughts on the civilian impact versus military claims.
An Israeli airstrike targeted a building in the Bashoura neighborhood of central Beirut today, less than 1 kilometer from government headquarters. Thick smoke rose over the densely populated area after the strike, which followed an evacuation warning from the IDF. Lebanese media reported the building housed civilians, including displaced families, describing it as collective punishment. The IDF stated it targeted Hezbollah-linked infrastructure.
The debate on X was fierce. Supporters of the IDF pointed to the evacuation warning as evidence of proportionality. Critics called it collective punishment of civilians. Neither side was backing down. As the war enters its third week, the economic consequences are becoming impossible to ignore. Brent crude has crossed $100 a barrel, driven by Iran's attacks on shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. The AP reported the price spike as supply concerns worsened.
Brent crude oil jumps above $100 a barrel as Iran's attacks on shipping worsen supply concerns. But behind every price spike, there is a price paid in human lives. War dries up the cost of food, medicine, and transport, hitting the poorest families hardest, while those who profit count their billions. Mothers in cold homes cannot afford heating. Fathers work triple shifts just to put bread on the table. The rich wage war, the world pays, and the vulnerable are left to freeze in the dark.
The energy market analyst Javier Blah noted another dimension of the crisis.
While the price of Brent crude remains well below its record high, the cost of fuel oil has surged above the 2022 and 2008 peaks. The spike is a big problem for the workhorse of globalization, the container ship.
Over $800 billion was reportedly wiped from U.S. stock market value as war fears hit markets. Oil tankers in the Persian Gulf remain under threat, with at least one Indian crew member killed in an Iranian drone attack on a U.S.-owned tanker.
An Indian national is dead following an underwater drone attack on a U.S.-owned oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. At least 3 commercial vessels have been struck by projectiles in the region, impacting global shipping routes.
In a small sign of normalcy returning, Air India announced it would operate 48 Middle East flights today, with Dubai services resuming. The Dubai airport had been shut since early March after Iranian missile debris struck near the terminal, stranding hundreds of thousands of travelers.
Air India to operate 48 Middle East flights today. Dubai services to resume.
But the return to normal is fragile. Reports of new drones near Dubai International Airport continue to surface, and the broader regional airspace remains partially restricted. For the hundreds of thousands of expats and tourists stranded across the Gulf, this is the first real sign that getting home might actually be possible. Meanwhile, Iran's position remains unchanged. Foreign Minister Araghchi stated that Tehran has never asked for a ceasefire or negotiations and is ready to defend itself as long as it takes. Trump, for his part, claims Iran wants a deal, but the terms are not good enough yet.
Trump says he's not ready to make a deal with Iran. Only yesterday, Trump was calling for unconditional surrender or to face another obliteration. And today, he has another opinion. Watch Fox News retool that one.
Week 3 of the Iran War. Russia sharing intelligence with Iran, buildings falling in central Beirut, oil above $100, flights slowly resuming in Dubai, no ceasefire in sight. What started as a targeted operation is becoming something much larger, with consequences that are spreading far beyond the Middle East. That was Today on X for March 18, 2026. Thanks for listening.